Alright everyone, hello and welcome to episode 7 of Watching Walford, an EastEnders podcast where we review all of the EastEnders episodes every single week. Likewise, welcome back to the Watching Walford channel, where we did indeed make a video that wasn't the podcast. We've been making some extra videos, I lie. There's a Wednesday video for you. Look at us.
And I can reveal that there will be a Monday episode. So we're like St. Bridget. We're spreading our blanket a little bit. You get a little bit on a Wednesday, you get a little bit on a Monday, then a little bit on a Wednesday, then you get a big boy on a Sunday. So we're giving you a 3-course meal spread
Indeed.
out among 7 days. And if you're wondering what the Monday video is, basically all these news channels who report boxing and wrestling and golf, I don't know if they do golf, and Formula One, we are hyping on that train. And well, not me. I write the notes. I'm not bloody researching this. I do enough research on the Pigs and Fergs podcast.
Indeed.
But my co-host, the Seal, will be doing a news video. It will be probably recorded at the end of this podcast, so you guys won't hear it until Monday.
Exactly.
But I'll hear it today.
How does that feel? Yeah, a news video, which should be good. Obviously, it's just an interesting thing to do, because obviously last week, I personally recorded a video discussing the Amy Barlow consent storyline that was just announced over on Coronation Street. And obviously, it's a storyline where a character is going to be sexually assaulted. And I thought, because this was going to have two characters that were fairly established on the show at that point, I felt like it was pretty important to give a genuine take and a general overview of like how they may do it. And yeah, so that's probably what it's going to be like. If I want to give a sneak peek, the news segment that is likely going to come out on Monday is the story of Emmerdale, where they have announced that they will do an all-male episode, essentially an episode to gear towards mental health awareness in like slightly older men, or just men in general. So, you know, the idea that back in the day, the stigma was that men don't talk about the feelings. And to some generation, they still haven't really gotten past that. So yeah, that will be coming out on Monday. But regardless, we are going to be discussing week 7 of 2023. The episode's going from the 13th of the 2nd, 2023 to the 16th of the 2nd, 2023. Now, Piggy is in Ireland, which means he can't access the BBC iPlayer. And RTE have their own player. And Friday's episode for us Brits came out on the Monday on RTE, and we're going to have to redo it again because Piggy yelled at me. And as I quote, "I don't want to upset the Irish, as you know they spent 800 years fighting for their freedom, and if I told Piggy no, he'd paint me as a racist Tory with a small willy."
Yeah. So we're redoing Friday's episode, and if this happens any other time, you know why. The meaning is basically for Ireland there will be an episode delay. So if, for instance, say this week another football match is on, and episode Thursday, so the episode that was supposed to happen on Thursday happens on Friday, we will redo it on the next Saturday as well, because it'll be the first time I'm watching it, and we'll redo the notes and everything. So we'll treat it like it actually happened on the Monday as well.
Yeah, I mean, I will argue though, it will be a slightly more abridged version, as we did go through it on last week's episode. So yeah, 13th of February, Ireland edition.
Yes, Ireland edition. You're watching the RTE version next time.
We kick off the week with Nish and Eve looking at potential businesses to buy when Suki walks in and says, hey, I should be involved in the business decisions. But essentially, Suki is reduced to having to cook when they try and make a deal with Phil, and they kind of joke and say, yeah, Phil seems like a bit more of a plain guy, no spice. And Nish also goes, yo, Eve, get Suki to sign this paper, which essentially takes away all of Suki's like financial control and like power. And Eve just kind of goes, oh, this might be a rough one.
Like wiping your arse with sandpaper. It's gonna be rough.
We see Lola and Emma going through old photos, and also Race and Sonia having coffee. Sonia's moaning because she couldn't sleep because of all of the drummy bass. And Reese goes full Liam Neeson, says, I'll sort it.
He does go full Liam Neeson though, doesn't he? He's like, I will find you. I will kill you.
Don't worry, I'll sort it.
What was the line he gave? What's the line he gave Sonia? I fell asleep to, what was it, Beethoven?
Yes. It's gotta be classical.
He fell asleep to some classical music. Like again, I said it last week and I'll say it again. Ricky ran so Reese could swim.
Exactly. Oh, he's fantastic.
Like people have sorry to interrupt you. People have been comparing him to Bradley. That he's a geeky Bradley.
That's
Can you see that?
I mean that's just because he's kind of a bit of a nerdy guy, isn't he? He just has that like But fun. I mean, I don't know if I'd compare him to Bradley. He is a bit. I feel like he's Bradley if Bradley had 20% more anxiety. Because Bradley had some like nerdy sense of confidence about him. Like he was a massive nerd, but he was like, yeah, sick. What else? But Reese kind of has that like, yeah, maybe. I don't see it personally, but I could understand why someone would.
I wonder what the ship name is, because you know, like people have ship names
for
couples and extenders.
Bloody hell!
I just want, because like Callum and Ben's is Balloon.
It's not Balloon, it's Ballum.
Yeah, well, it's nearly Balloon. It
is nearly Balloon.
I don't know what Cat and Phil is. It's probably Kill.
Yeah, but it's either fat. No, yeah, no, Pat. Would it just be Pat? Fat, like PHAT? Kill? I really don't know.
So what would Reese and Sonia's be like? Because you can't, like Rania. You can't like. Good on you, mate.
Yeah, I'd obviously the Sonia and Reese shipping names in the comments below, please.
And Phil and Kat, please.
Indeed. And speaking of which, Phil and Kat are talking to Panasars. They invite them for a dinner, and Phil's like, pretty much. He's not really a big fan. He doesn't really want to do business with the Panasars. And Kim and Howie are talking about Valentine's Day, which, in textbook Kim and Howie fashion, bit of comedy, bit of romance, all you can expect. Stacy also is kind of like freaking out because the rent's gone up again. Jay, meanwhile, is packing for Paris, and kind of, we then also get a section where Billy kind of says like, hey Lola, you know how you were nearly late for Lexi's like prefect speech? Well, maybe you're just spending a bit too much time with Emma. And this kind of makes Lola go, oh yeah, maybe I should just abandon my mum after I've not seen her since I was 3. obviously these aren't the full notes, but if it was if it was last week's episode, you can hear me just yelling about Billy being jealous. Like, stop
Yeah.
trying to deprive Lola of her mum. For Christ's sake. And Eve gives Suki the papers to sign, and yeah, Suki doesn't read the fine print, which Eve is trying to tell her. She really is, but Eve's just like, get away from me. We then see the scene of the week as Reese Neeson he goes to Jed and he's like, oh, hi, Jed. I think you should leave. And then Jed's like, well, why should I? And then he's like, well, your real name is Edward Chadwick?
Yeah. And you own a biscuit factory, and they're not even the good biscuits.
Yeah, exactly. He's about to inherit a biscuit empire. You know, like, it's ridiculous. And then Karen's like, you bloody biscuit Tory. Wait, no, she didn't say that. I said that. And essentially mocks the fact that he'd just been like scrounging off Karen the whole time, like not really being good to Sonya. And yeah, Jed's leave. Jed is gone, fortunately. He lasted not too long, but he was fun whilst he lasted.
Who lasted longer? Jed or Ryan?
Jed,
there you
definitely. Go. And Phil and Kat go to the meal at the Panasars. Nish is like, Phil, do you want a drink? And he's like, I'll have an orange juice, please. Or a soft drink, I believe it was. And, you know, Nish is trying to prod around. He's trying to, like, posture, be like, yeah, I'm the bigger man, me.
Oh, man.
And Nish is like, I would have expected you would have been a drinker. And Phil just kind of bluffs it, like, yeah, shut your mouth. And meanwhile, Lola...
Phil with drinking is honestly, it is some of the best EastEnders ever.
It's some of the best comedy in EastEnders. But it also, like any alcoholic, it may be funny for a second, but for the however long it takes for them to get sober again, it's not worth it. Especially considering that originally one of my favorite characters was Ben Mitchell. It's kind of suffered under the I've forgotten the recent actor's name. Not that it's important. But obviously, I watched all of the storylines that Ben Mitchell's done as a character, and Harry Reid's Ben was great, but also you had to deal with Ben being an alcoholic a lot. But the recent Ben hasn't really had to deal with that so much, which has been nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll go with that.
So moral is, I don't want, like, drunk Phil's funny, but I don't want him back for a good while. If at all. Lola then tells Emma, you know, maybe we shouldn't see each other this often. Like, I should just spend some time with Lexi and everybody else. I probably won't be able to see much after the honeymoon. You're a bit sad, but you know. And yeah, in the Panasars and the Mitchells meal, Nish is like, oh yeah, I heard you were a great chef inside. You could whip up a stew with a kettle. And then Phil's just like, I didn't hear I didn't hear anything about you inside. Like, you were no one. Like, who were you inside?
Do you know? I don't know if you remember this, but there was a Rock promo that reminds me so much of this. There's a promo with the Rock and Triple H, where Triple H is like, "I want my undisputed title back." This is like in 2002.
Yeah.
This the big undisputed title, and
Yeah.
the Rock just basically goes, "I'm the undisputed champion, so shut up, bitch." It reminded me of that. Like Phil is the Rock and Nish is Triple H.
I mean, Nish has had to scheme to get his way on any sort of businesses, so checks out.
He's gonna regain a popular company like and take control of it. He's gonna take over EastEnders.
I mean, I feel like that obviously there's going to be the big feud, but I feel like there will be a lot of. Obviously, I'll make this prediction later, but obviously I feel like the Panasars are somehow gonna get pretty like powerful business wise this year. But I also think they desperately need more Panasars on the square. Because we're currently only rocking Nish, Suki, Ravi, and Vinny. And, well, Ash is still here, but she's leaving anyways, so. We're not really rocking, like, numbers right now.
No.
And essentially, this meal kind of folds as Phil's like, listen, right, you can get the chicken shops, but I want it for double. And Nish is like, yeah, I won, I did it, I got Phil, I did it. And then Phil talks about it and he's like, thank God I got rid of those useless things. I made double the profit and he's going to have to fix a window he smashed. Like, it's just a funny, like, Nish is a bit of a narcissist and, like, really backs himself. But everybody around him kind of realizes that he's a bit useless by himself. Like,
yeah.
So it was just funny to see Phil be like, he thought he had me over a barrel, and then even Suki's like, mate, what are you even doing? And yeah, obviously Phil and Kat celebrate this new business venture. Nish and Suki have an argument, and also just a bit where Emma kind of yells at Billy like, fine, you can have Lola if you really wanted her. Like, I'm glad you've got your way type deal. Eve talks to Howie, essentially goes, can you get something back out the post? And he's like, yeah, I could, but I can't because it's illegal. Like, fundamentally I could, but for my job's sake, nah. And Reese is like questioned by Sonya, like, how'd you get Jed to move? And he's like, I'll tell you, but I have to kill you. And then Sonya's like, you know what, never mind, move in with me, please. I like you, you like me, let's become partners, let's have a snog.
Imagine him in Taken, the actor who plays him. He would have been better in Taken than Liam Neeson. Like, I'm not on about the actor himself, I'm on about like the Reese as a character.
Yes.
In Taken.
There would be someone mock that up. It would be great.
I don't know who you are, but I will have to kill you. Your name's not Kidnapper 123. Your name's actually Bob.
Yeah, Emma and Lola talk, and Emma gives Lexi like a necklace, and she does not threaten her. She does give her her phone number though, and says, "Hey, it's our secret. Just keep in touch, you know."
And how does she change her phone number?
You what?
What happens if she changes her phone number though?
I mean, I assume she'll tell her.
Imagine she forgot. She's just like, yeah, she's not answering me. Oh,
she's not forgetting
hell.
her grandkid after she's pretty much been exiled out of her actual kid's life. I do hope that she kind of is like mentioned around with Lexi though. Like, I do hope, like, if Lexi ever needs to, like, not be in the show for a bit, she'll be just like, oh, I'm just gonna go live with Emma, you know, that deal.
Yeah.
Even if the actress isn't here for long, like, I do hope she's still like kept in canon.
It might end up like Ian Bill's boxing career.
Completely dead. And in the final scenes of episode Ireland edition, Suki and Nish talk, and Nish is like, we should renew our wedding vows. And he essentially goes, yeah, maybe, you know, I'd be forgiving if you didn't, but I don't know about our children. And she looks out in the square, in the middle of the square, and she just sees Eve alone, and she probably just wants to be right next to her. And because we are on RTE, a Irish lady can be heard on the screen. Oh Christ, I have to do an Irish accent here.
No, you don't have to do an Irish accent, but you
But-
can if you want.
Yeah, I have to try and imagine a woman's Irish accent.
It's just a higher pitch.
Uh, screw it, I'll just do a bad normal accent. Coming up on RTE2, where Dara O'Brien is about to take a look back at the Six Nations that took place last weekend. Boy, was it some action. That's against the head. That's not your thing. That is Scottish. This is so Scottish. You can stay here a while more. EastEnders coming up. Well, I don't really know what that was. There was a bit of Irish, bit of Scottish.
Bit of Northern Ireland.
Bit of Northern Ireland too, yeah. So yeah, you guys better be prepared to see Dara O'Brien.
For anyone, if anyone wants to, I will. I don't know if Ash will say them, but I will always know if that lady comes up on screen, and I will always jot down what she is saying or promoting.
It'll be like Lucky Dip. Some days it'll be it, so other days it'll be it. And now time for the stuff you actually want to see. We open up February 13th, the English edition, as Callum and Jack take a look through someone's phone. Apparently there's a familiar face like living on the square. Like they're seeing someone on this like film. And this could be someone. And we cut back to Denise, who burns a toast. The fire alarm goes off, and she rings Jack, but pleads with him to put them first for once. He offers lunch at Wolford East, but Denise is like, no, not Wolford East. And then Callum walks in, and we see that like the person they're like looking as like some crime thing is actually Ravi. And I'm just like, you what? Like, I've not seen any inkling that he's in some, like, criminal activity. Like, obviously he was in prison for a while. But, I was, they didn't really expand on it much. But, very confused. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it.
Yeah.
I also think it's going to be the driving force in Ravi's inevitable feud with Jack. So
That will probably start next week.
I mean, yeah, it's already kind of started this week.
Yeah, but next week is the 38th anniversary of EastEnders, so you know.
That is true, and Denise is going to sleep with Ravi. That's what I believe at least. And we also see Lily, Eve, and Stacey working the van, but don't tell Nish, who is asking Stacey, have you seen Eve? Nah. Eve, get up. She's feeling a bit guilty because she's realised how much she's actually cost Suki in the grand scheme of things. Not even like just the money and the property, she's kind of taken away any leverage she would have had. So that's pretty goddamn rough. Also, you wrote, are they playing Subway Surfers music? What is that?
Have you never heard of Subway Surfers?
No.
The video game, the game where you run and you're being chased by a cop.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna send you this, right?
Okay.
Just listen to the song, right? Because I thought I heard that song.
Oh, it's an actual thing. I thought it was like branded.
Apple finds whatever.
I thought it was gonna be like Subway, like the sandwich makers.
No, I'm on about the video game where you're Jack, the child.
That's why I got confused. Anyways, Whitney is calling in to get results of the baby's appointment, but they haven't really got them yet, and it's being taken to the lab, which she thinks is a pretty bad sign. Then Whitney and Stacy get into a disagreement and also Eve can't really work hacking at the BAP store today, so like she leaves and Freddy goes, "Yo, Suki's not here either." And the agreement we were talking about is that Ryan Malloy is brought back up, and this kind of drives a bit of a wedge between Whitney and Stace. And oh boy, then we get to see Nish give Suki a red and white like apron tabard thing. And I kind of wrote, this is one more step to making Suki a housewife and not like a powerful businesswoman who's raised a family and built up an empire, you know. Like, I look forward to when Suki regains control.
I do wonder, because we can talk about it now, will she choose Nish next week, or will she choose Eve?
I mean, yeah, obviously we mentioned the like the 38th anniversary where there's the trailer where everything's changed. It can change in an instant. So, I do think she will. I think the day that she'll be renewing her blessings, I think her and Eve will have a shag or something.
Have a scissor, you mean?
They're still shagging.
Yeah, I know, but it's funnier if you say having a scissor.
If you're 12.
Scissor mean down the ass.
But yeah, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Because, obviously, even Suki are the endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know how Nish... I don't know where Nish goes. I don't know if he, like, goes to prison again, or... like, maybe he tries to batter Eve or something. Or maybe he dies in some way. I just don't know how they get rid of him. Yeah, who knows, honestly. It's fun though. It's fun to think about. I do like the I don't enjoy the Nish and Suki dynamic because it's obviously taking like fierce, feisty Suki and making her a pathetic housewife.
Yeah.
But it is pretty compelling. And then Keanu and Chelsea flirt a little bit, but she puts her foot in it saying he needs a job, which was meant as a joke, but Keanu just shies away and continues his run. Keanu and Chelsea? Oh? Do we like?
Yeah, what's their ship name, guys? Come on.
Chinos.
Cheetos.
I think they have a bit of chemistry. I'm just happy for Keanu to get with literally anybody that's not just no Mitchells. Just don't go near him, Keanu, please.
But I thought he and Sharon Watts have a shag in the bathroom.
They do, but it's obviously it's not going to go well, is it?
They start next week. Have I just spoiled next week?
Yeah, slight spoiler.
Oh, sorry,
Well,
guys.
It wasn't a spoiler. It was completely made up. It was a prediction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hey, give me Keanu and literally anybody else's age, please. A part of me likes the dumb like chalk and cheese like Keanu and Ash type situation because Ash is this bloody high rolling doctor and Keanu's this absolute knobhead. This dumb mechanic.
Who shagged every Mitchell woman.
Indeed, he's capable of bedding everyone. Phil,
is he going to be the modern day Max Brannan, where he literally shags everyone?
Ooh. He could be.
Because I think they're going that way where they're going to make him the modern day Max.
He is a bit of a mansler,
Yeah.
which I'm all for. Nah, they should make Ravi that. Like, come on.
They should, but Keanu has slept with three? I think it's three. Three Mitchell
Sam,
women.
Sharon, Louise. Yep. It'll be fun. Obviously, we'll talk more about Keanu in a little bit. And Ravi, as they do share a scene together this week. That was fun. But yeah, Phil goes to Billy and his store, and obviously Billy's store's struggling because cost of living and all. Phil says Rag and Bone Man could do better than this, and he offers him some cash, like some genuine cash. And Billy's like, "I don't need your charity," and I'm like, "Billy, are you dumb?" Like, I get it. You nearly got sent down for murder. Easy grudge to have. But don't be too proud to take cash when your family could be eating something good rather than eating beans on toast this week, you know? Like...
Or as my uncle calls them, skinheads on a raft.
That's ridiculous.
So if you're ever sitting there and you want to confuse your brothers, just go, "Aye lads, do you want some skinheads on a raft?"
Yeah, noted. And Felix runs in screaming. And then Philly goes "Why are you running?" You know, like the famous clip of the movie. Where like the woman's screaming and the guy's like, "Why are you running?" And I was like,
That
what?
meme is
I was
so
like, how
old.
is this? How is this cropped up in EastEnders, man? Like, it's great. It's fun. It low-key popped me. I'm like, yo! But I was like, how is this being put in EastEnders? But it worked. And essentially they go, apparently their dad has left them something in their will, which is why they're excited. And then Whitney kind of goes to Lily like, hey, you know your actual dad, right? You know, the one who is your dad and the one who will look after you because they're your dad. Why don't you like try ask Stacy about Ryan? And I just kind of went, Whitney, that's none of your business. Well, it kind of is, but it's not your call to make. I was pretty unhappy with Whitney in this one. Like, oi!
Yeah,
They'll tell
because
Ryan when they want to tell Ryan.
I've seen Whitney's character. I don't think it's in Whitney's character to tell people what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not really. She'll yell at people, but she doesn't like hint at stuff that much. She'll usually just straight up tell you, or will just not tell you. And dining in Wolford East are the Fox Trumans, and guess who's working? Denise and Jack get a surprise when Sam walks in because Ricky invited her, and it's a fairly tense meal, and the family's in a pretty rough spot. Mostly because Jack's been an absolute knobhead for the past couple of months, and everybody's sick of him. And Freddy wants to help out Stacy and takes over the van for a little bit. I just wrote, didn't realise Stacy let anybody handle her bats. Yeah. And he does some magic where he takes a fiver, spins around, and then pulls out two pretty good looking bats, I'll be honest. I was like, oh. I'd eat those. Especially the prices they charge. Because we got to see the prices that they charge. Mate, the most expensive thing on the menu is £2.20.
And what is that?
I think it was like a bacon and egg.
Jesus, they're very cheap, aren't they?
Yeah, like, how are you expecting to stay... Listen, alright, if you can get a bacon roll for £1.80, I'm hitting that store each day. I'm like, yep, get me more of those. Can I get 5? Like, how are you trying to stay afloat just charging, like, £1.80 for a bacon bat? That's ridiculous. You're not even going to break even on all the ingredients. That's what, like, bloody, like, god damn. Yeah, I was just amazed at how cheap it is. Then we see Phil mention Grant, which is pretty nuts, as Grant's not really mentioned that much anymore. And I kind of made the bold prediction. I kind of reckon Grant will be brought back within the next couple of years. I could easily see him coming back for a short little stint. Like within the next little bit. Do you reckon Grant will come back?
If Ross Kemp's career goes sideways, then yes.
Yeah, but what's he doing right now?
He's retired, isn't he? I think.
Is he retired?
Yeah. Well, not on the show. On the show, he's still running a business, but the actor's retired, I think.
I guess he is. I guess he is late 50s.
Yeah.
Damn. Ah, that's nuts. Yeah.
The only, like, Grant Mitchell, the only man to take down ninjas without using a gun from... Isn't that it? Wasn't that what Ross Kemp did? He took out people without using a gun?
Well, I remember there was this scene where some... I think there was like some tribe, and they pulled out a gun, and he just went, "Listen, all right, shoot me, go on, bloody shoot me." And it's like, god damn it, Ross, stop it. Like this is all staged.
Like, Ross Kemp is Grant Mitchell, is the thing.
I think that the way to me to argue that there's a chance is that he's also doing he's hosting a show on the BBC. But I don't know. I feel like it's viable.
But I can't see it being long term again.
Nah,
like
he'll be there for like a month or two max. I reckon. But yeah, essentially, Phil is getting some work for Billy to try and help provide for him. Because obviously, Billy's struggling a little bit. So, Phil's like, all right, I'll get you some work. But obviously, Billy is going to be a bit too proud about it. And it's like, Billy, he's trying to... You didn't go to prison, and he's trying to look after you. Like, just come on. Stop being so proud, please. You're doing my head in.
And jealous.
Hmm?
And jealous. He's also very jealous of Lola's mom.
Yeah, that's true. He's not in a good spot right now, is old Billy. And we are in the Minute Mark, and Eve and Sookie are talking about, what happened on the Friday. Eve apologizes for screwing with Sookie's future, and she reveals that she and Nish are going to celebrate their years of marriage. She did not look pleased about it, though. She was mortified. Like, she told Eve, and she just wanted, like, a big hug. But it just didn't happen. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Eve is kind of like, yeah, alright, I get it, I understand. But it's, I really hope something changes in the Sookie and Eve story, because it would be very nice to see Sookie be happy again. She's had a really rough go of it the last little bit. And at the meal at Walford East, Ricky is revealed to be being bullied in school. And on his hockey team, what a loser. All right, Piggy, what's wrong with Ricky Jr.?
What you say, sorry?
You're just calling him a loser for getting bullied.
I love it. Where he's basically like, yeah, you're a loser, mate. Get over it. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
And I think they said they've been bullying him because they wrote "baby daddy" on his bib. And it's like, god damn it.
Daddy cool, I said, daddy cool.
But yeah, he actually stands up for himself in front of Jack. and essentially like, listen, right, you're never there. Like, you're never there. Like, that's obviously the reason why you moved in with Sam in the first place. And then Keanu and Chelsea have a talk. She apologizes and tries to get a job at Peggy's. Although he says, yeah, I can't really work with Sam. But she goes, oi, just be there, right? Just do it. Lily tells Stacy about Ryan and Lily's, and she pretty much says word for word what Lily said earlier. Because unsurprisingly, a 12-year-old is quite easy to manipulate. As we will see. And this causes a big scene because Stacy's like, we're not telling Ryan yet. But then Zach kind of comforts Whitney, like, listen, alright, just finish up early. We're going to go cook. You know, let's just have a nice meal. Calm the baby, calm yourself. And at Wolford East, a little argument breaks out as Nugget is blamed for spreading the gossip that Ricky and Lily are going to be parents. Jack starts yelling at Nugget when Ravi comes to his defense. And Ravi wins this argument as Jack decides they are storming out. I do like Ravi yelling at Jack. That's fun. I want literally everybody to yell at Jack.
Yeah, Jack needs slapping down.
He does need slapping down. Felix and Finley talk to Mitch about getting Emily back. As I was like noting down, I'm like, who is Emily? I feel like Emily is like a pet at this point in time. Little did I know. Then Ben and Billy talk about Grant's job offer. It's 2 months building a bar in Portugal. Ben essentially tells Billy, mate, your shop's garbage. If it's good paid work, support your family. And as Denise is arguing with Jack, Jack rudely answers the phone. And it seems like Callum's like dug up some like evidence. But yeah, let's just ignore my wife or civil partner who's yelling at me. Fine, reasonable, Jack, you knobhead. And Nish and Suki talk. And Nish keeps like droning on, being like, yeah, we're a team, you know? You don't need to wear the tabard. But if you really want to show united front, you'll do it. And it's like, oh, stop it, Nish, you bastard.
It's like that friend that's like, yeah, we're friends. Yeah, it's so good being friends. And you're like, oh no, mate. We have a good relationship being friends. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be murdered.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're friends as long as you do exactly what I tell you to.
Well, I am the big girl's bitch, so I have to.
Yeah, Whitney and Zach talk about Ryan, and he essentially convinces her to tell Ryan, because, you know, there's a lot on her plate. And she's kind of been worried, like, about doing it, because, like, it then becomes real, you know. It then becomes a genuine issue. And things get steamy in Wolford East, as Denise has come to pay, but they just flirt like there's no tomorrow. Like, he quickly goes, well, you could have just paid to another waiter. But then he starts to get all, like, husky. Like, he puts a bit more bass in his voice. And I'm like, oh, Ravi, bloody hell. And they're about to kiss. But Jack arrives as Denise, like, hides under, like, I don't remember, like, hides under a table or something. I love it. A Fair Watch is alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Keanu arrives at Piggy's and smartly sorts out Piggy's. Yeah.
I own a pub.
But yeah, he arrives at Peggy's and kind of smartly sorts out an aggressive customer, which leads to Chelsea to be like, hey, Sam, you know how you've been talking about you need a bouncer? Keanu. Said it exactly like that.
But Phil is just, I'm waiting for Phil to find out, and Phil will be like, "Tiana."
And Jack and Ravi, they discuss it through. And Ravi's essentially like, listen, right, no man speaks to my son like that. As Jack leaves and Denise gets out from under the table. Denise says that she doesn't know her. Or, yeah, Denise says that, like, you don't know me and this would never happen. And as she leaves, Ravi says, I'll be home tomorrow night if you get bored of your predictable Valentine's Day. Oh. And in the final scene of the episode, Whitney calls Ryan and drops the bombshell that Lily is having a baby. It's Valentine's Day on the square, and Linda is preparing for Valentine's Day in the pub. Jack complains, saying that Valentine's Day is worse than Halloween and ruins Denise's romantic breakfast. Just looking at the breakfast that Denise did, mate, that breakfast looked absolutely delicious.
What is it?
I think it was like some like ham and egg in like a bun with like some salad. Oh, it looked amazing. Like, I hope when Jack left and he scanned them both, because I would. Like, holy god damn.
I hope if we get invited to the BBC to see EastEnders Studio, I hope we get some lovely lunch by the crew. I'm holding out for the fact that the BBC will allow us to go to the studio.
Well, I mean, if you gotta have big dreams.
Yeah. You know, it will happen, you know. Of course.
You're just manifesting it right now. It will
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, we'll see Ricky Butcher as well. Triple X Arnie.
And when Denise thinks that, like, Jack's like, are you working all day? And then Denise is like, yeah. And then she's like, oh, are we gonna, like, spend the day together? No. Jack wants her to keep an eye on Amy in the salon. And, yeah, just keep the person who's harming herself in front of many people being judged. Good move, guys. Great. You know want to know? It's the school holidays. Just let her chill in a room, man. Like, what do you want from her?
Well, they apparently don't want her harming herself, but how I look at it is, if you're bringing her out into a situation, I understand people are going to say it's a TV show, but for looking at this through actual lenses, if you're bringing a person who is, can I say the word? Or is YouTube not allowing it?
I don't know.
I'll just say it, and you can Google afterwards, and if it's not allowed, you can bleep it. But, if a person is suicidal, because technically she is, why would you put her in an environment that involves her meeting more people?
Yeah.
Like, I understand she's going to get paid. Well, I think she's going to get
He's
paid.
not getting paid.
But, like, logically, you don't turn around for... Now, look, Ash, look, I know you wanted to jump the other day, but I am going to a pub. And I know you don't want to go, but it would be best for me if you go. Like, you don't do that in any other situation.
Yeah, you just let them chill.
Like, mate, I understand, like, your wife shot herself, but, like, come on.
Yeah.
The pub is
Yeah, but
calling.
I need
Come on.
company. It's like, all right, sound, mate. Sound.
Come on. You know you want to.
All right, Piggy, I've got
Oh,
a poem for you.
oh. Is
Roses
it my
are
poem
red.
that I wrote?
Indeed. No, it's my. I wrote this right now.
Oh, have you?
Roses are red, violets are blue. My next door neighbour won't stop playing Irish rebel music out of his drummy bass, and Freddie's got a poem for you. See, that was my poem. This leads into Freddie's poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I've got the biggest baps in Walford. How about you? Hashtag Batboys. Hashtag Batmobile. Are you impressed?
I am impressed.
Yeah. Thought so. Proud of myself for making all that up myself.
Yeah.
Whitney,
Obviously, the people who know who write the notes know who wrote that. So
and it
in the
was the
comments,
best bloody note writer I know. Me.
are we turning into a wrestling like promo? Like, you know who wrote all these promos? Me. I'm the best bloody writer.
My calligraphy's untouchable. It's all cursive and swear
Well,
words.
I'm going to tell you something.
Hmm.
Who in this Discord call got an award in IT and English creative? Was it you or was it me?
Was not me. That is true.
So shut your hole.
Yeah, Whitney tries to tell Stacy that Ryan is back, but Cat's in Stacy's baps, and someone's nicked everything from the van. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we finally get to see the sign, and Jesus Christ, how is it so cheap? How are you even trying to stay afloat with these prices? Like, listen, I got a bacon and egg bap for like £4. Stacy's charging half. That's ridiculous.
Wait, do you guys do a breakfast roll and a chicken fillet roll?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
well, you know what Stacey needs to introduce? She needs to bring in the chicken fillet roll and the breakfast roll, and that would really set it off.
Yeah, but she would have to. She's not making any money from this. Ridiculous. It's like the cafe as well. The cafe's prices are stupidly low. It's like they're living in like the 90s before inflation. Well, before current day inflation, you know. But yeah, sure, in the 80s you could get a cup of tea for 50p. But now, nah, that's like £2. I would imagine.
Well, hopefully if we go to the BBC studio, hopefully we don't have to pay. So
I'm rewriting all their signs to be reasonable prices. Do you guys have any chalk around? No? Alright, a Sharpie. A pencil.
what are you doing, mate? Don't worry about it, lads. And then it's just me sat there. Lads, don't worry. Ash has got this. He's got this.
Yeah, and we then cut back to Linda and Sharon talking. And I just wrote, apparently it's been 3 years since Dennis Jr. died. Damn. It's been a long 3 years.
Wait, let me get this correct. Was it Ian that locked him in the
Ian locked him in a room in the boat.
Yeah, then he drowned.
And then he drowned, yeah. Ian survived.
So technically
Dennis drowned.
So technically all Ian would not have had to do was lock the door and he would have been safe.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Ian being Ian didn't.
Well, I'm pretty sure he'd been bullying. I'm pretty sure Dennis had been trying to bully Bobby.
And I forgot that's the name of the kid.
Yes, Bobby B. Favorite character that doesn't get used enough. Yeah.
Bobby Bean, what a character.
Yeah, there we are. And yeah, I wrote time goes so slow. Linda's considering drinking as it's her first Valentine's Day after Mick, but blows a kiss to the photograph picture of Mick that they found a while ago. She isn't drinking yet, and Ollie made Linda a Valentine's Day card. Something Mick's card got lost being posted overseas. Or like, it got lost in the channel, you know. There we are. Very cheap joke. Haha, Mick died in the channel. Well, isn't dead, but is technically missing. LOL! See, we make funny jokes here on the podcast.
We do. This is a long podcast now, lads.
And we then see Mitch, Keanu, and Phoenix at the cafe. And Keanu's like, and Keanu is like, oh, the things I could do to Emily. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, just really just sounding very misogynistic and sexist. But Bernie kind of goes like, "Oi, stop being sexist," and they're like, "It's a car. Emily's a car, and it's on the way right now." Yeah, I was close. All right, it started off with a pet and ended with a car, and I managed to predict that it was a car in this scene. But then they showed it about 2 seconds later, and I'm like, I feel like I've wasted my genius.
I knew it was a car because I read an article like weeks ago that said they're bringing in a new car or something, and I was like, oh, all right.
Who reports on something as boring as that?
I don't know. There was a EastEnders article that said that Felix and Finley are getting a new car, and I was like, all right. And I looked
Sound.
at it, and the car was like blue, and I was like, and then I looked at the car in the show, which we'll get onto,
Yeah.
and I was like, something does not add up here. Either someone photoshopped the images, or I misremembered.
Yeah, it's it is a car, and I like the car. I like it when they bring in something for characters to work on, because it then brings like a bunch of different characters will appear. You know, like Keanu's working on it, Ravi's working on it, or Felix is working on it. Like it's like Finley's working on it. It's like nice. Just like a project, so you can get characters who wouldn't usually interact to interact. And Kim is vlogging on Valentine's Day, and she says, if you haven't done a horizontal hokey cokey on a bed full of rose petals, then you haven't lived. What is a horizontal hokey cokey?
I don't want to know.
It's sex. It is sex. I just wanted to see if you'd have some fancy answer to it. No, all good.
No.
We thrive in. And Freddy, essentially, they realize that Freddy forgot to lock up, and they think about trying to falsify an insurance claim before realizing, bollocks, we stopped paying for insurance. And this is when Ryan arrives. And in the salon, Nugget apologizes to Amy, and he says he will be apologizing to Ricky and Lily too. This kind of gets this gives Ravi some good boy points with Denise. And then Kim asks Ravi what is it like being Wolford's sexiest man and in love. He says, I don't know about love, but I know about wanting someone so bad that you can't stop thinking about them. Is Ravi the sexiest man in Wolford?
No, that's Reese.
Have
you seen Reese? Like, oh.
I mean, listen, it's okay. Obviously, I'm asexual, but when you make a character, basically, they can build up a character to seem like attractive and sexy, and that's happened for Ravi for me. Me right now and watching this, Ravi's a sexy boy. Big love for Ravi.
Yeah, Ravi might be sexy, but is he the true sexy boy? No, that's Reese. Someone now Photoshop Reese's head onto Shawn Michaels. And the true sexy boy.
And Denise wants a Galentine's with Amy, but she's already agreed to do something else. Ryan and Stacey catch up, but it's pretty awkward. It has been 6 years, and he says, yeah, I would have seen you more, but this is interrupted by Bobby and Freddy, and they've decided to sell Valentine's Day chip Baps. But Bobby says, it's a close contender for Line of the Week, but it isn't. Bobby kind of awkwardly stumbles like, I do need to get my hands on your Baps first, though. And everybody just kind of looks at him like, Bobby, gee, God, I can't take you anywhere, Bobby. Stop objectifying Stacey, please. Good old
I,
Bobby B.
I love how like Bobby was before portrayed as this murderer, and now he's portrayed as this lovable guy. Like, I honestly would love to have a pint with Bob. Is Bobby allowed? Is Bobby allowed to have a pint? Because I would love to have
I
a pint
think
with
so.
him.
I don't know if he drinks, but yeah.
Well, he is Muslim in the show, or
Yes.
Islamic, I should say,
He converted to Islam, so he is a Muslim.
in
Yeah,
the show.
in the show. Yeah, so I don't know if he does actually drink or not. But regardless, yeah,
I'd love to
I
have an
do love
orange
Bobby B.
juice.
Bobby B. He's one of
So
my
what is
favourite
that, Bobby
characters.
B?
But yeah, Stacy and Ryan just kind of brush it off. And he's like, why didn't you tell me she was pregnant? And Lily walks in and then sees Ryan for the first time since she was 5. It's pretty awkward. And then Keanu tells Albie, like, hey, listen, all right, next year, I'll get you one of those mini cars that you can drive around. And then this kind of, he leaves Linda Rise, and she's like, how do you move on like nothing happened? And we also learn that Linda's been ignoring calls from the solicitor, as apparently Janine has been wanting to do something with Mick's shares. And the Bakers unveil Emily. Yeah, she's aged pretty poorly. She's mucky, she's covered in dust, it's a mess, it's disgusting. Isn't the car that they're looking at in the picture for sure.
Yeah.
I also went, yeah, I forget that Keanu and Mitch are family. Like, it's weird. Because I only really remember Mitch, like, hanging out with Keegan, because obvious reason. But, like, it's still weird to think he's, like, Keanu's stepdad, kind of. That's just strange. Ryan gives Lily 50 quid and starts asking questions about the baby. She said she isn't picky, but wants to start an Insta page for the baby to get free stuff. Reasonable.
You know, most parents are like, oh, I want my kid to, take part in soccer. I want him to be a pro wrestler. I want him to be a boxer. I want you to be a doctor. Lily's like, look, mate, I just want her to be an Instagram influencer. I mean, like, if the baby isn't even born and you want to whore it out for Instagram. I don't know if I should use whore it out in that sentence, but
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of a questionable one, but yeah, it's kind of like your priorities are garbage. Ryan asks Lily if you want to go shopping, and he's just kind of like, yeah, it can't be too easy dealing with all this yourself. And he mentions that him and Helen, his wife, are doing well, and he finally wants to do his bit and like take over, to like give Stacy a bit of a break. Jack has booked a nice little restaurant and surprises Denise with flowers. She says, like, oh, I can't go like this. So Jack is going to go and have a pint at the pub while she changes. And Whitney and Ryan have a conversation about the babies, and he's slightly upset that Lily didn't call him dad, but actually asks how Whit is doing. And she just lies to him and doesn't really tell him the whole truth. The Bakers are talking about Emily and figuring out what to do with her. And Karen says, when I get an Emily, my knickers disappear.
I love that line so much. And I can't say that word because if I say that word in my Irish accent, it sounds horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
So for a straight white British male like you, sorry, an asexual British male like you,
Indeed.
it is all right.
Thank you. And we then see Jack walk in like to the house, and he talks to. Jack walks into the pub and he talks to Sam a little, and they talk about Ricky as Ryan just kind of looks like, what's this all about, huh? And then comes in Stacy and Eve, as Stacy's like, listen, right, I demand that I'm gonna have a night out with my wife, and Ryan's just kind of like, what, wife? And then we see Denise getting ready at her home, and Ravi walks in and says, "Hey, give me like 5 minutes." Then Stacy talks about how Lily won't stop talking about Ryan, and Eve says, "Sometimes I wish you were my mum." Like, what? Can confirm you're not supposed to want your wife to be your mum. Maybe? I don't know.
Well, it's a kink, isn't it? So, you know.
Stacey's had enough problems being a mum. I don't think she wants to be a mum in the bedroom. And Keanu has offered to fix up Emily for them. Apparently Felix knows about cars, and I like that. Mostly because Felix is a very gay man, but also knows his cars, which was fun that they didn't just go, "Oh, wouldn't because obviously it wouldn't be out of character for Felix to be like, don't want to get my nails dirty, type stuff that they usually write for him." That was fun. I just liked that. Will they ever use anything about it again? No, but I did like it. And then Ryan and Jack get into it, and it nearly gets into an argument, but Sam's like, "Listen, alright, come on." And as Witch speaks up, Zach appears and gives her a Valentine's Day gift. But Ryan kind of gives him a very frosty, like, "Oh, is that for one of your other girlfriends, huh?" And then he like really tries to leave quickly. So he's not having a good time, is all Ryan. And in the home, Ravi corners Denise, and he's like, "I need to know what you think about me. Like, I need to know if you need me." And she says she needs him to leave. But they're cornered by Jack and Sam, who are picking up Ricky's game. Ravi tries to leave through the door and mess up the plan, but Denise, like, pushes him back, and they are about to kiss. Affair! Eve is drowning her sorrows with Linda, who can't stop looking at the alcohol. She's tempted, but Patrick has noticed and makes sure she doesn't drink. All Linda can think about is Mick, and Linda has just heard that Janine is probably trying to sell Mick shares of the pub. Then Freddie and Bobby B walk in. They do the bap dance. And they hand Stacy 120 quid. Apparently the Bap dance went viral, and we now have Bap Boy and Bap Man.
I love the dynamic of Freddie and Bobby.
It's so good. It's like, if they stay around for a while, it has potential to be one of the like better like double like friendship double acts. I would argue.
Yeah.
Did enjoy the Bap dance. Someone 100 subs. Piggy does the Bap dance.
You do the Bap dance for 100 subs.
I don't want to do the Bap dance. I'd nail it.
500
That's
subs
all I'm
and
saying.
I'll do the Bap dance.
1 million subs. But yeah, Bat Boy and Batman. Obviously, Bobby is Bat Boy.
What, is Bobby a bottom?
He's got that energy. He's got Switch energy, but that's not.
You could murder someone in the bedroom. Slay queen.
Stacy feels good with this and finally considers taking like Ryan's share of the money. Although when it cuts to Ryan, we kind of learn that he's kind of planning for the baby and Lily to go and live with him and his wife Helen. And he like gets a call from her saying, "Listen, alright, I'll do whatever it takes." Sam's been eating Denise's chocolates and they talk about the flowers. Apparently Jack wouldn't have bothered if Amy had not strong-armed him into it. Denise is upset, and then Denise and Ravi finally kiss. Hey! Finally, a Fair Watch has manifested. It's happened. It's here. I'm all here for it. I'm all ready to go. Love me some Fair Watch. And doof doof. Oh, and if you've been affected by any of this cursing on the episode, please stay tuned for more Ravi. I don't know why it's a weird Scottish. Doof 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 doof. We start this episode with the Slaters getting ready for Lily's scan, while Freddie and Eve are preparing an order from the Slater family kitchen. Sam walks in and she wants Ricky there to be there for the scan, and Stacy says it doesn't matter if he's late, as she isn't invited, nor is she. But Lily goes, listen, right? Ricky's the dad. I want him to be there. Denise slept on the sofa at Kim's, and she's mortified over what she's done, and she hasn't talked with Kim. Or at least she was, but she puts it off. Then we see Ryan, Whitney, and Felix talk about how fit Ryan is, and Lily's scan. He is getting asked by Helen if he's spoken to Stacy yet. Well, I say that Felix talks about how fit Ryan is to Whitney, just for clarity. And Ravi and Keanu are working on Emily. As he sees Denise appear, he gets his jacket off and shows off his guns. Sexy Ravi. And I wrote, there's a lot of sexy man meat working on that car. Then Denise walks home and bumps into Jack, who's really grumpy. He says, you were supposed to be my wife. And she says, say thank you to Amy for the flowers. Then we see Ravi, Finley, and Keanu getting along and talking about Emily. Ash arrives and Finley tries to flirt his way out of it, but she just demands they move it as it's disturbing her patience. And Sharon comforts Linda as Sharon just found out that Janine is going to sell Mick Share the Vic when he's declared legally dead, of course. Ryan talks to Whitney about the baby's disorder. She mentions how the baby has omphalocele, and he mentions that he and Helen can't have kids. Ooh. Linda then talks to Sharon about someone buying the Vic, and Linda is worried about being pushed out from the Vic. We then see Lily and Ricky together at the hospital, waiting for the scan, as Sam and Stacy are chatting about being grandmas, and apparently Stacy is only 34. And it feels like she's been around for years. Then Ryan comes in and goes off with Stacy for a chat. He essentially says, maybe Lil and the baby want to come live with me down, or up north with him and Helen. And Kim tries to figure out what's happening, but Denise reveals that she kissed someone. And this makes Kim comically drop the trays. Denise is conflicted, but does actually confide in Kim in the end. Alright, so in this next section, Finley tries to flirt with Ash as the car has still not been moved, and she gives him my line of the week, which is essentially she goes, Finley's like, oh, would you, essentially flirts, and he's like, you know, what would you say, doctor? I've had a bit of a headache, and she goes, early diagnosis, terminal case of punching way above your weight. Finley goes, what can you give me for that? And Ash goes, a healthy dose of reality. What good lines.
Line of the week.
That is my line of the week. And Ash says 20 quid that you can't get this moved. But he's like, yeah, but if I do, how about we go out to dinner? Smooth. Ryan and Stacy and Lily goes in for the scan, and she's all excited, but no one's really warning her of the complications that an early pregnancy could cause, you know, like, she's still 12. There's still maybe complications of such an early age pregnancy. But the main factor is Lily and Ricky and Sam are happy, but Stacy and Ryan are just really like trying to pull one on the other. Like, yeah, well, imagine hey Ricky, you should be there when they're born, unlike Ryan, you know, just slinging abuse at each other. And they pretty much leave the room to have a massive argument. Denise tells Kim it was just a one-off kiss. And Kim essentially says, why would you drop a bomb on your marriage if it was only a stupid kiss that isn't going to happen again? So I guess she isn't going to tell Jack instead. And yeah, Stacy and Ryan have this massive argument, but it's interrupted because Lily comes out holding the picture of the ultra scan, and they're all happy for one another. Denise tries to tell Jack that she kissed someone, but Jack won't let it happen as he starts apologizing for missing Valentine's Day. Jack says he's going to make it up to her, and they hug, but Denise is still holding on to the secret. And Whitney and Ryan argue because Ryan has been throwing his weight around. And pretty much we realize that Ryan wants Lily and the baby back because him and Helen can't have kids of their own. And yeah, Whitney kind of realizes this, like, you're acting a bit strange. Like, why are you forcing this? And Lily is upset with Stacy because of how she spoke to Ryan. Lily's being a bit of an angsty teenager, and Stacy essentially says, yeah, but listen, right, parents aren't always, like, your parents aren't always your parents by blood, you know. They're the ones who, like, take care of you, the ones who make sacrifices for you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon decides that she wants to invest in the Vic again, buying Mick's shares with Linda, and providing, like, proving exactly what I thought, saying, hey, they're probably, like, Sharon's probably going to buy into the pub. But hey, with the 20th, with the 38th anniversary coming, feels like there will be some surprise investors, like, trying to buy the Vic. And Denise tells Ravi that it was a one-off, and it's all innuendo. It's just like, well, you know, as customers, we always, like, aim to please, you know. And Denise is like, yeah, but the starter just, it was quite bland, you know. And then Ravi's like, well, you haven't even tried my main course yet. And I was like, yes, give me all of the flirting, please. I'll buy all of it. And Ryan buys Lily a hot chocolate and is trying to convince her that she should want to come live with her and Helen in Wakefield. He said he wanted to see her more and puts the idea of leaving in her head. The line, like, as a parent, you do your best to put your kid first, resonates with Lily as she has a lot to think about. And this time, we get a man saying, oh god, I have to do an accent again. Well, Lily, I don't even know what that is. What even is this? Well, screw it. Well, Lily has a big decision on her hands. We head back to EastEnders tomorrow on RTE1. You might be thinking about the big decisions with our lotto coming up and then tuck into a nice pork sandwich on Food Truck Favourites.
And I just had a lovely ham sandwich, so that was ironic.
And the final episode of the week kicks off with Stacy and Eve. They talk about their ups and downs, but most importantly, Freddie has eaten the last slice of bread. Bastard.
I love how, like, Freddie is the one to blame. It could have been Harvey.
Could have been Harvey, yeah.
But surely, oh, excuse me, there's what, 10 people living there?
There's a lot of people in the Slater household.
Because surely, like, you double up on bread and Jack's roll and...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, sure, like, if there's... So
yeah, but the main issue is they can't afford it, so... But yeah, sure, in theory you do it, but also, if you can't afford it, you just work what you got. And...
yeah, but wait, hold on. Can we try and figure out who's in the house?
Oh, Jesus.
There is Stacy.
Yeah.
And then Stacy's kids. So that's 3, isn't it?
Stacy... No, yeah. Stacy has Lily, Arthur, and Hope. Yeah, that's 3 kids. Jean and Harvey live there as well.
Eve
as well, yeah.
So that's another 3.
Freddie.
So we're on 7.
Freddie lives there too.
So that's 8.
Alfie lives there.
That's 9.
I think that's it.
So there's 9 living there.
Yeah.
How do you fit 9 people into a
And
3-bedroom
I
house?
suppose as well as Harvey and Jean. Not sure if we counted those yet.
We did.
Okay. Well, it is the Slater house, and they do love to stack people in. Just remember that they still had the same bit, and they still had Mo. Like they're like the Slater's nan, and Kat used to live there as well.
So that's 11 then in total.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mess.
I hope Little Mo comes back.
Yeah.
Is that the correct Mo? Is the lady that was in the Hellboy reboot?
Who was in the Hellboy reboot?
I think because there's Big Mo and Little Mo, so I'm trying to remember which Mo it is. It's the one who was caught for selling weed on EastEnders.
Oh, it's Layla Morse. Yeah, that's a Big Mo.
I want Big Mo back.
I believe, maybe. I actually see it anywhere, but maybe. I will take your word for it.
Yeah, she appears in Hellboy in the reboot now.
That's nuts.
I don't know why I remember that so well.
Yeah. There we are. Oh, we were figuring out how many Slaters there are, but regardless, basically, Lily sees all of this go on, and she's just kind of like, Jesus Christ, they really are struggling with money, which makes her kind of go, should I go with Ryan though? As Whitney is playing a lullaby for her baby in the womb that cannot hear anything yet. I don't understand. She wants Ryan to. Oh, excuse me. She wants Ryan to stay, and she wants like family there to support her. But ultimately, I don't really see any of Whitney's family like reappearing because everybody left. Because Tiffany left, Bianca's not coming back. She was kind of not really too friendly with Liam. Like, I don't really know what family Whitney has on the square. And even outside of the square. So, I don't see any of her family back other than Ryan for 3 days. And
who else could they bring? I don't know who they could bring back. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like she really doesn't have much family. I guess they could bring back Carol Jackson, who's Bianca's mum, but even then they kind of had a pretty weird relationship anyways. Who knows?
I thought Carol Jackson was dead.
Oh, is she dead?
I don't know, is she?
Is she dead? No, she's not dead.
Oh.
Yeah, died. Fair enough. Had me worried there for a second. She hasn't been around since 2015, though. So.
All right.
It's been 8 years. Yeah, essentially Ryan's like, yeah, Whitney's like, yeah, Ryan, you should be here for me because, you know, I need family right now. But Ryan just kind of non-committally goes, yeah, sure. Yep, definitely will be here for you. Totally. Yep. No, I won't. No, I won't, of course. Linda then bumps into Sharon and she's like, are you sure you actually want to try, like, buy into the Vic? And Sharon's like, yeah, I want to help out. Like, it'll be worth it. It'll be exciting. We then see Ricky being supported by helping out Lily. She really doesn't know what to do. Like, she knows that Stacy is struggling, but has to make an adult decision. And Ricky's upset about this, and Kat is kind of like, "Are you actually okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And we cut back to the cafe where Amy is talking to Jack. Denise tries to like make Ravi jealous and like tries to just essentially just stick her tongue down Jack's throat as much as she can, trying to like not tease him, but wants to like try make a statement, I guess. It's like, "Yeah, I'm happily married." Oh, Jack, you're so long. Unlike anybody else we know. Ravi. It's just like teenage nonsense. And Keanu is seen fixing Emily. And we see Keanu and Ash talk to each other. Keanu's like, "Hey, so you and Finley, though, like, is this anything happening?" And Eve is seen walking into the Albert, and Kathy says, "Listen, alright, gin and tonic on me." And Sharon goes to Kathy like, "Would you want to invest in the gym?" And Kathy says she can't, but Eve's like, "I know just the woman." Denise is eating a cake, and Ravi walks in and starts trying to be like, "Hey, listen, alright, you don't need to leave Jack, but one night with me will change your life." It's pretty much what he said.
Yeah.
I don't know how impressive a Shaggy is, but that's some big words. "I'll pump you so good you're gonna ruin your marriage." That's what he's saying.
Is he Rick Rude like?
He's hey, you never know. He's a sex machine. But behind Reese, of course.
Yeah. No one can outshag Reese.
And we also see Lily, who's pretty like sad and conflicted. And then Amy and Denzel chat to Ricky and Lily with the most brutal line of the week, as Lily says, "Look, I can barely say 2 words to you before you go hurting yourself." Jesus Christ.
Like, I feel so sorry for Amy. Is it Amy?
Yes.
Like, she's the butt end of a joke. Like, I understand she's a suicidal teenager.
She's not suicidal, she just self-harms.
Yeah, but technically, you know.
It doesn't mean she wants to die, though. She just wants to take back control.
Yeah, but like, you're bullying a teenager who's self-harming. Why would you do that? You're just gonna make them feel worse.
Yeah, but obviously Lily's got a lot on her mind. But yeah, I was watching this, I'm like, "Oh, Jesus!" Just like, whoa! That escalated. Oh, man.
Who will be the first death on our podcast now?
It's obviously Lola, right?
I don't know, actually.
I feel like it. Unless Nish, like, gets killed somehow. But
He could get killed next week.
maybe. And yeah, Ravi eavesdrops in as Ricky pledges, "Listen, alright, Lily, if you go, I'll go." And this is the first time Lily's actually like taking this decision as like an adult. Because she's being like, "Okay, well, I mean, Ryan has a lot more to offer, and, you know, maybe it would just be the best for the baby if I left. Like, you know, Stacy can barely handle it right now. Doesn't matter if she'll try, it's still like running her thin." You're like, so it was actually the first time she's actually kind of made an adult decision for a while, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And Eve suggests to Sookie that she invest in the gym, as it helps her get some of her financial independence back. And Eve tells Sookie that she loves her. And as Sookie kind of takes it and goes, "Alright, I'll meet Sharon." And ironically, a little bit of love plays on the radio. Like, perfect. EastEnders like music in the back of the shots have been really good, actually. Like, they've been surprisingly like funny and relevant, Just if you watch, just pay attention to the music like tracks behind. You'll probably have a bit of fun. And Lily's
I do have a question.
Yes.
Do people actually keep track of the tracks that play in EastEnders?
I highly doubt it. It's only if it's something that's particularly like noteworthy.
I wonder has WAP been played in EastEnders?
Of course not.
The Nirvana version.
And Lily finally decides that she'll go with Ryan and calls him Dad. And Kat realizes that Ryan's been getting into Lily's head. And Keanu and Sharon flirt around Albie, and she tells him that she wants to go house with Linda for the pub, which she's obviously going to go sprout and tell someone who probably shouldn't know. Eve tells Sharon, like, look, Suki'll be here, and Suki brings Nish along, and this kind of upsets Eve a little bit. She wanted this to be Suki's way of like taking back some control. And the ominous thing I wrote is that when Nish says, "Oh yes," Sharon's like, "Oh yeah, silent partner's the best kind," and then Nish goes, "Yeah, it's the easiest way to keep them in line." And I'm like, "Oh Jesus," because obviously this is what he thinks of Suki, and it's like, God damn, this is pretty rough. And at the same time, every time Suki tried to speak, Nish would just interrupt and say something like louder. And I'm like, oh, this is actually quite rough now. I don't like this anymore. Just please let Suki be okay.
Love is in the air. Oh yeah.
Back at Stacy's Baps, we see Stacy working out how much everything will cost as Eve brings the 50 quid. Kat walks in and says, look, Ryan is getting in the head of Lily, and Stacy goes to yell at him. Callum and Jack are seen talking as Jack is trying to get some details on Ravi, suggesting he may still be in some like crime circle. And whilst it's happening, Ravi walks in and basically rats on Ricky and Lily Jr. Not Lily Jr., Ricky Jr. to get some good boy points with Denise. And we then see Lily packing for a move with Ryan. Stacy walks in, they get into a massive argument. She tells Lily to go upstairs, and oh boy. Jack then screams at Ricky as Ravi is just like, yeah, hey, yeah, Denise, you can trust me, you know, I do care. And Karen asks Keanu what Sharon is up to, and he says that she wants to buy into the pub, which Vinny overhears and aims to get Nish involved. And back at Stacy's, Ryan and Stacy get into it, and he starts screaming at her, and he's out of line. He brings up that she's had 3 different kids with 3 different dads, and this is when Lily like walks in and just tells him to get lost. You know, like we finally had enough of you. And Nish and Vinny runs up to Nish and says, "Hey, look, they're selling McShares. We can run the pub, guys." And the bit I wrote about this went, man, I do love the idea of Suki as landlady of the pub.
It won't happen though.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I think I don't know. I think it would just be a good thing. I feel like Linda would also be like part running it. I feel like it would be like Suki and Linda like having to co-manage it. Because obviously Nish wouldn't want to get involved, so I don't know. I'd like to see Suki as I just wanted to see like big, powerful, strong Suki with confidence. And we see Denise and Jack talking about Ricky. Jack questions why Ravi came to her first, and she gets a bit like, oh well, you know, we're just friends because we're in that WhatsApp group together. And then she essentially sends him off like to go help Ricky at Sam's, as Denise gets a pretty infuriating text from Ravi, which, you know, keeps her thinking about him, blah blah blah. And yeah, back at the Vic, we see Nish, Suki, and Vinny talk about their business ventures. They're pretty keen on getting their hands on the pub. like the offer for the gym's kind of like, don't really care that much anymore. I'd rather a pub. And Eve arrives, and in a conversation with Suki, she says, "I've got the message." And then Suki says, "I don't think you'll ever get the message." Which I thought was absolutely perfect. Because, obviously, what Suki's doing, she doesn't like Nish. But she knows that the last person Suki got close to, and the last person Nish got jealous over, ended up dead. So obviously the reason why Suki is trying to be so cold with Eve is so that she doesn't get murdered, you know? Like, and Eve just thinks it's because she's like cold or because she's closeted. No! It's because she doesn't want you to die. I liked how they did it. And I just wanted to perform some fellatio on the writers for that one. That was some good stuff. And Suki essentially delivers this big speech saying, "We're having a blessing to celebrate our years of marriage." As Ryan is being ousted from the square and forced to leave, he kind of burns all bridges because he starts yelling at Wit, he starts yelling at Kat, he says, "Hey Lily, have fun, you'll be good, right?" And then goes, "How are you going to manage when I cut child benefit down to a minimum?" He also kind of tells everyone that, like, yeah, Wit's been having some difficulties too. And Ryan walks off in a huff, leaving the Slaters in a much bigger mess than when he arrived. And then, as this is the week of Irish EastEnders, a lady can be heard. Oh God, I have to do a voice again. If you can't wait till Sunday to get your fill of dancing with a star, it always goes Scottish. Then our team at Nationwide go behind the scenes tomorrow night. Don't miss it tomorrow at 7. Up next, take a stroll around the garden. Bollocks. With the First Lady, Celine Higgins, and It's a Park's Life. I hate him, but I'll do them anyways, as I like to read things poorly. Alright, and that was watching Walford 7. Was it a good week for EastEnders, do you reckon? Yeah, it was a little bit filler, honestly.
It's just setting up next week.
Yeah, and that's fine. It was a decent enough. The comedy was fun. Setting up some interesting plot points. Bit of progression on the Ravi Denise. You know what? I'll give it a solid. It was a decent week, but obviously next week is the important one. Like, they aren't even releasing the episodes early, because obviously they release on BBC iPlayer. They release them like in the morning, so you could watch them in the morning. But they're not even releasing these early, so they are banking on these ones being absolutely huge. Like these, I imagine what happens during this week will set up more plots till the next like big week of episodes. But now it's time for your favorite section of the podcast. It's time for the awards. Now, last time we started with the probably underrated character award, but this time we'll start with the slapping down award. Piggy, who needs slapping down this week?
Well, are we allowed to pick the same as last week?
Because
I can name 2 people that need slapping down.
All right, who needs slapping down?
Ryan and Jack.
Okay.
And maybe Nish.
I'm pretty sure last week it was Nish. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, if you take Ryan, I'll take Jack. They both need some serious slapping down.
Everyone needs a slapping down.
Like, it's not even like we need to express it. They've both been absolute knobheads. Actually, no. Last week I said that Billy needed slapping down. I believe you picked Nish, I picked Billy. Because Billy was
Yeah.
just interfering in Lola's business. Next up is the... What do you want to do? Underrated character or Steve Black?
We might as well do underrated character.
Well, I'll take it first. It's Bobby B. It's gotta be Bobby Beale. He's back on the screens again. He's doing a bap dance. He's Bat Boy. I love him.
And we have to pick the same person.
I mean, no one's really taken note, but who's your runner-up this week?
My runner-up, it goes to Freddie Slater.
All right, that's fine.
You take Batboy, I'll take Batman. You
Yeah.
take the bottom, I'll take the top.
And the Steve Blackman Award, who was the blandest, most unbelievably bland character of the week.
Well, you see, I have to wait till next week because if I induct him this week, he can't induct him next week. So an honourable mention goes to Keanu, but we can't induct Keanu yet. We have to wait to see if he improves. He probably won't. The Steve motherfucking Blackman Award. Who deserves it? Bobby Beale. Now,
no, hold
you
on.
may wonder.
The Steve Blackman Award is just bland. It's just bland.
Okay. Then Bobby Beale, you are excluded. Yeah, it will. I'm trying to think now. Give me a second. It will have to go to Nugget.
Yeah, fair enough. Who is deserving of the Steve Blackman Award this week? God. I immediately want to say Vinny, as all Vinny's doing is just being a little rat. Oh, Dad, I got some information for you. Yes. You can buy the pub. Ah, yes, I see. Cheers, Dad. That's all he does. So Vinny is my rat of the week. No, Vinny's the Steve Blackman of this week. He just doesn't do much. At all. He's a massive nuisance.
So if you're watching the podcast, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.